Hello guys, welcome to the knowledge domain, the concept of life sciences and biotechnology. In this lecture, we are going to discuss the acid-base regulation in our body. Regulation of the H plus ion balance is equivalent to the regulation of the other ions in the body because the maintenance of the pH it performs a lot of functions in the body and it is responsible in maintaining the acid base regulation. So the most important criteria is to maintain the H plus concentration. So whatever intake or production of H plus in various metabolic pathways should be equal to the net removal of H plus from the body. That's what the regulation is maintained. So there are multiple acid base buffering mechanisms that involves blood cells and the lungs, and it maintains the homeostasis of the H plus ion concentration in the extracellular as well as the intracellular fluid, or it maintains the balance of the acid and bases in extracellular and the intracellular fluid. So H plus concentration is precisely regulated as all the enzymes of our body are influenced by the pH. Okay. And in the digestive GI physiology also we have discussed the stomach pH is very less, so that the enzymes present in the stomach they are active in that system. So Na plus in the extracellular fluid is almost 142 milliequivalent per liter. It is almost 0.9% of the sodium chloride that is given to person. It is called as a line also. And the H plus averages only 0.4 milliequivalent, that is equivalent to 40 nanoequivalent per liter. So sodium is found very high in the extracellular fluid. H plus is almost 40 nanoequivalent per liter. So it is very less. So to express it, there is a terminology pH. Okay. It is the partial pressure of the hydrogen ion concentration, and it is a logarithmic inversely to the H plus concentration, that is a log, negative log H plus. So here it is 4 and it is milli. So there are 7 zeros here to make it the equivalence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 0.70 then 4 equivalence. That is almost, if the logarithmic of that is 7.4. That is the pH of the plasma. So arterial blood pH is 7.4, the pH of the plasma. In the venous blood, it is 7.35. Why? Because the venous blood contains the drained blood from the various tissues where the metabolic activity has already taken place. And because of the metabolic activity, there is a generation of the CO2 in the tissues. And that CO2 binds the water in the presence of the carbonic anhydrate, it forms the H2CO3 bicarbonate, and it dissociates into H plus and HCO3 minus. So this additional H plus, that is the result of the equivalent number of the CO2 generated in the tissue, reduces the pH by 0.05. That's why the venous blood is slightly acidic compared to that arterial blood. So for the survival of a person, the pH of the plasma should not be more than 8 or less than 6.8. This is the physiological pH for us to survive. Intracellular pH is between 6 to 7.4 and the urine pH is 4.5 to 8. So this is the plasma pH, this is the intracellular fluid pH, and this is the urine pH. Plasma pH is equivalent to the interstitial fluid pH also. So to summarize it further, arterial blood 7.4, venous blood and the interstitial fluid 7.35, intracellular fluid 6 to 7.4, urine 4.5 to 8, and in the stomach, the gastric acial, it makes the pH very highly acidic 0.8. So it is so important, so it has to be precisely regulated. So what regulates the H plus ion concentration? There are 3 primary systems that maintains or that prevent the acidosis or the alkalosis. The one is the chemical acid-base buffer system, okay, of the body fluid. respiratory center, removal of the CO2 from the extracellular fluid, and the kidney excrete the acidic or the alkaline urine to reduce the excess of acid or alkaline in the plasma respectively. So this is the bicarbonate buffer, okay, the first one. HCO3 minus is there in the plasma or in the interstitial fluid. So when the acid is added, H plus is added, this addition of the acid should reduce the pH. But this H plus will bind to HCO3 minus to form the H2CO3. So the change in the pH or the reduction in pH is registered by this HCO3 minus, okay, which is a weak base that binds to the strong acid. So this is the buffer, bicarbonate buffer. Similarly, when the NaOH, a strong base, is added, then sodium bicarbonate is formed, which is a weak acid. A salt of weak acid and a strong base. So CO2 plus water equal to H2CO3 plus NaOH, and this is the sodium bicarbonate. It is a salt of weak acid and a strong base. That is a buffer. So like this, it reduces the it prevent or reduce the change in pH by the addition of the H plus or the addition of the OH minus into the plasma. So the bicarbonate is a buffer. There is another buffer, that is the phosphate buffer system, that is not important in the plasma or the extracellular fluid, but has a very vital role in maintaining the buffering capacity of the renal tubular fluid as well as the intracellular fluid. So the plasma and the extracellular or the interstitial fluid is the bicarbonate, whereas the intracellular fluid or the renal tubular fluid, it is the phosphate. So there are two. One is the S2PO4 and another is the SPO4 2 minus. So when an acid is added, this SPO4 2 minus, it will bind with the H plus and it will form the NaH2PO4. Okay. So this addition of the H plus is neutralized. Similarly, when the NaOH is added, this OH minus will be used by the NaS2PO4 to form the Na2HPO4. So this OH addition is neutralized by forming it water. So the addition of the acid or base that should result in the decreasing the pH or increasing the pH is registered by neutralizing the acid or the base in the phosphate buffer system. Okay. So phosphate buffer system carries excess H plus into the urine and generate a new bicarbonate. This is the tubular cells. So CO2 that is coming from the renal interstitial fluid, that is coming from the metabolism of the cell. Okay. So it will reach as the tubular cell, CO2. Water, carbonic anhydride, bicarbonate, dissociate bicarbonate plus H plus. So we have a H plus here. Okay. This will be exported into the tubular lumen. This is the urine fluid that is under process by the sodium H plus antipode system. So this H plus is binding with the NaHPO4 as we discussed earlier to form the NaH2PO4. So this addition of this H plus that should result in the decrease in the pH is neutralized by NaHPO4, the phosphate buffer present in the tubular lumen. So by the excretion or the secretion of the 1H plus, there is a generation of a new bicarbonate into the plasma, because this renal interstitial fluid will finally drain by the peritubular capillaries and it will reach the plasma. Then there is the proteins which are important in maintaining the buffer. One of the proteins is the hemoglobin. So if there is a H plus present in the plasma, it will be taken by the hemoglobin to form the H hemoglobin. Okay, so the change in the pH will be registered by the hemoglobin. We have the 1.2 moles per liter of dissolved CO2 in our extracellular fluid that gives the CO2 partial pressure almost 40 millimeter mercury. So we have discussed in the previous slide the pH of the plasma is 7.4 because this is the 40 nano equivalent of the CO2 present in the plasma. So this is the normal situation. Okay. So when the ventilation will be increased by 100%, it is twofold change in the one means the ventilation will become double. Then there is a change of the pH will be 0.23. Because the CO2 will be washed away in the alveoli from the plasma, so the pH will be increased or the H plus ion concentration in the plasma will be decreased by a factor of 0.23. Similarly, when the ventilation is halved, so the change in the pH in the blood will be minus 0.23, or the pH will reduce by 0.23, or the H plus ion concentration will increase in the blood. So like this, the rate of ventilation is changing the pH of the fluid. Which fluid? The plasma. So here the change in the pH is dependent on the alveolar ventilation. Okay. So H plus ion concentration increases, alveolar ventilation increases, then partial pressure of CO2 decreases because of that there is a reduction in the H plus ion concentration that we have discussed earlier. So the ventilation reduces the H plus concentration in the plasma or increase the pH of the plasma. Next, it is an experimental situation where the pH of the arterial fluid was increased. So when this is dependent, here the ventilation will be changing according to the change in the pH in the arterial blood. So this is a 7.4, ventilation is 1. So when there was less pH, means hydrogen ion concentration was higher, the ventilation was higher. And once the pH keep on increasing, the ventilation keep on decreasing. So it is a fine balance between the ventilation and the pH of the plasma to maintain the plasma pH almost 7.4. So excreting either acidic or the basic urine by this mechanism, the kidney or the glomerular filtration control the acid base balance in our body. How? If the pH of the blood is high, it will excrete the acidic urine. If the pH of the blood is low, it will excrete the basic urine. So bicarbonate are filtered continuously into the tube, as we know, because except the plasma protein, everything gets filtered into the glomerular filtration. In the glomerular filtration, okay. Certainly the cells will not filter. H plus are also secreted into the tubular lumen by the tubular epithelial cells. Okay, we have discussed this in scatteredly in previous lectures also. Each day, the body produces 80 milliequivalent of non-volatile acids. It is called non-volatile because this acid cannot be excreted by the lungs or by the alveolar ventilation. So this acid has to be removed by the kidney. Okay. So to understand that, each day the kidney filter 4320 milliequivalent of bicarbonate. Okay. All of this has to be reabsorbed, but it generates additional 80 milliequivalent of the H plus. So the H plus secreted is 4. Here if you add 80, it is 4400 milliequivalent of H plus secreted into the tubular fluid each day. Okay. And how this 80 milliequivalent are excreted, that will be discussed now. So 4320, what is this? Bicarbonate filter. Reabsorb 85%. So this is the descending loop of Henle-Thien, ascending loop of Henle-Thien, nothing is happening to the bicarbonate. But in the ascending loop of Henle, which is thick wall, means additional 10% to 95% are reabsorbed, and the remaining are reabsorbed in the distal collecting duct. In the metabolic scenario, it will be excreted. Okay. So here one thing important to notice is that here we can see the CO2, H2O bicarbonate, SCO3 minus H plus. So for each bicarbonate, there is an H plus. Okay. So this bicarbonate, it is present in the tubular lumen. So for each bicarbonate, there is the equal number of the H plus ion has to be there to make it the CO2 plus water. So if the 4320 milliequivalent of the bicarbonate has to be reabsorbed completely, we need 4320 milliequivalent of the H plus in the tubular lumen. If the tubular lumen is less than this H plus, the additional bicarbonate cannot be reabsorbed because to convert it into CO2, there is not enough H plus. So the alkali or the base will be removed as bicarbonate. So if there is an additional H plus than 4320 that cannot bind with the CO2, so that H plus will be secreted or will be excreted by the urine. So like this, because there is a bicarbonate is saturated against H plus in the tubule. So depending on the availability of the H plus or the bicarbonate, the additional H plus or bicarbonate has to be excreted out. So next is the excretion of the H plus and the generation of the new bicarbonate by the ammonia vapor. Till now we have discussed bicarbonate vapor, then the hemoglobin, the various protein as the vapor, the phosphate vapor, and now it is the ammonia active vapor. So here it is the proximal tubules. This ammonia is produced from the glutamine. So this is the ammonium. This is the sodium ammonium antipode system. It is found in the urine, and this will be acting as a vapor. Okay. So for the production of the each ammonium, there is a net release of a new bicarbonate, like in the phosphate vapor. Okay. So this is the collecting tubule. The secretion of the nitrogenous product is in another way. Here instead of ammonium, it is the ammonia that is secreted into the tubular lumen, and H plus means that is the equivalent number of the ammonia that has to be by the proton form, means it is the ATPase energy dependent process that will be released, so that ammonium will be formed in the tubular lumen.